Hello everyone, welcome to the Coolest Charles podcast. This is your boy Tabuko. Please kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Let me just fix something here. My camera. Let me do this. Okay, yeah. So hit the like button if you're new. Today we're going to talk about the Premier League fixtures that came yesterday. Talk about Chelsea Premier League fixtures because I know a lot of fixtures came, but the most important thing is talk about Chelsea Premier League fixtures. So if you're new, please kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. So I'm gonna start with the first five Premier League fixtures that already came. So let me just rephrase it. So let me add here on the screen that right now. Now as you can see, right, our first Premier League fixtures. First game at home will be Crystal Palace. Then will be West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, Manchester United, and Brighton. So, in terms of those six fixtures, guys, let me know how many games do you think we'll win? And also, we're going to play, I think it's 4 London derbies in a row. One, two, three, four. Yeah, 4 London derbies in a row. Do you think that could benefit us as a team? Let me know, guys, in the comment section. What do you think about this? Let me know what you think about this, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Personally, it won't be easy because we know Crystal Palace at the moment are doing very well. Are doing very well under their coach, and they just won the FA Cup. So it won't be easy. But this is a new season. Last season, I think we dropped both games 1-1. But this season, I think we need to make it right. We need to make it right. We need to make it right. So personally, if Graham Potter is still here at West Ham, we're going to beat them. Fulham, they're still a good team, but at home, we need to beat them. I think last season they beat us 2-1 at home, and then we beat them 2-1 away. So we need to fix that, and hopefully this time we beat them. So anyway, still I'm waiting for a few people. Let me just talk about Mikhailo Mudrik's situation. Then I'll be waiting for some people to join me. Chelsea says those are all winnable matches, first six. Yeah, you can say this, right? But we all know that it won't be simple. But big up, bro, big up, bro. And bro, if you like to join me on the panel, you can send me a link via DM. Then I'll send me a DM. I'll send you the link. Says this. My worry is how hard will our matches be when we come back from European matches, bro. I've just saw that. That's why I'm saying this, right? Paul Wiston, Lawrence Stewart need to make sure we sign good players in order for us to not struggle. I don't want us to focus on Cole Palmer a lot. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want us to help Cole Palmer not to play every game. So it won't be easy. So let's see what will happen, bro. So West Ham away. It all depends how they're going to what you call strengthen their squad, right? So let's see what will happen. But since they've Graham Potter there, anything is possible for us to beat them. Guys, if you're new, please kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Give me your thoughts about Chelsea first Premier League fixtures, and also, do you think we stand a chance to win all those games? I know Chelsea says those 6 are winnable, but in paper, yes, they're winnable. But in terms of football, we need to play each and every game and make sure we win those games. And remember, Brighton last season, they beat us 3-0 away. Even now, we are going to play at home, but still, won't be easy. So let's see what will happen, guys. So after Brighton, we're going to face what you call Liverpool at home. We're gonna face Liverpool at home. So in terms of Liverpool at home, I think it's a winnable game for us. Liverpool at home. We beat them 3-1 last season. Now it's a new season. We can beat them. We can beat them again. But like you said, nothing is in football. And also they make some fantastic signings. Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, now they want Kekets, and also they want a new striker, Hugo Ekitike. They want to link with Chelsea. Let's see what will happen. But personally, we can beat any team if our players finish their chances. If our players take their chances. So let's see what will happen. But I'm going to go through one by one while waiting for someone to join me so that he can give us his own perspective about our Premier League fixtures. And also we're going to talk about tomorrow's games and predict the lineup that Enzo Maresca might pick, because we had the news that Enzo Maresca might rotate the team, even though we are not quite sure yet, because it's all PR, right? Chelsea says, show me we will be playing Champions League from 16 September. This will begin before the Manchester United game week 5. Let me do this. I think I need to go to the Chelsea page, because on the Chelsea page are showing everything that will happen. Let me do this. I don't know on the calendar shows that. Nothing yet on the calendar. I think we need to wait for the Champions League draw. Then we can add those games, because we don't know which clubs are going to play with. Chelsea says this. Then we have Champions League match on the 30th September with Liverpool in the Premier League on 4th of October. Yeah, it won't be easy, but like I said, bro, I think if we add 2 quality left wingers, we are good, because we can have 2 strong squad to start those games. Champions League game, then the Champions League game. So let's see what will happen. I understand you Chelsea, but I think we are good if only we sign good players. I still don't trust our sporting directors. So we need to be careful. I still don't trust Paul Weston and Lawrence Stewart because we can't get the Jimmy Gittings deal done, and also we can't even get Hugo Ekitike deal done. So let's wait until the Club World Cup, see what will happen because the transfer window is still open. Anything is possible, especially after the Club World Cup. So now it seems like it's a pre-season to evaluate the players during the Club World Cup. Then I think will be good. Big up, big up, big up, big up, IB, big up, IB. Koi,
Yeah, bro.
Koi, big up, bro.
Yeah, big up, big up, big up, big up.
Koi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you also hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your mic is is too far. Just get
Is
close to your mic so that I can hear you.
okay. My apologies. Just a second.
Koi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. Is it
Yeah,
still
I still
bad?
can hear you, bro. Just get closer to your mic.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, 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 okay.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. At least we won our match. Even though I'm not particularly happy about the transfer window, but outside of that, I'm okay. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. But I think as much as we are all frustrated, it's still too early to predict because we still have July and August, so anything is possible.
I totally agree. I totally agree. That's why I'm a bit relaxed right now. If we were in August 31st and this is all we've done, then I'll be very worried. But there's ample time, so I'm not going to, you know, complain that much for now. But I just wish we got a lot of them in earlier, especially in the attack, and then they can settle down quickly. And because I know that we playing in the Club World Cup is definitely going to take a physical toll on the players, on our key players especially. So we need these new signings with fresh legs to help the team. So I just hope they are done it early. But well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes, bro. And then thanks to Coachella for the super chat. It says, don't let Dante on. Oh my gosh. Chelsea says, yes, I am worried about those sporting directors. They are now focusing on Joao Pedro, another Brighton player. Personally, I like Joao Pedro, so I know we have different opinions about the players that are linked to Chelsea. So, what are your thoughts about Joao Pedro, bro?
Well, Joao Pedro, strikes me as those kind of Felix and Kunku players. Havertz is like you can't really specify where you could play them and get the best out of them. And it looks like Chelsea, when we make those kind of signings, they always end up flopping because now in Kunku, some are saying he's a 10, some are saying he's a second striker, some are saying he's an inside forward. I'm tired of those kind of players, frankly speaking. I'm not really in support of it, but of course, if he comes, I'll give him the full support and hope he proves me wrong. But he's not a signing. I'm hoping we get, honestly speaking. But as I said, if he joins, once he's a Chelsea player wearing the jersey, I have to support him. But preferentially, he's not someone I would want because I've seen those type of signings and it doesn't end up well here. And then the
Yeah,
coach too uses a system that you know likes to put the wingers on the touchline, 1v1 kind of thing. So I'm wondering what's the thinking behind it because I don't want them also signing players without the coach's input. Like they overlook the coach and then buy the players for him, and then it's like figure it out. You get me? It's like you're a carpenter and you ask for specific tools, and then the place where you're working, they just buy you any random tools that use it. It'll be a bit difficult. You get me? Because I'm sure the Felix, he didn't want Felix. I'm very sure of that because
yeah,
clearly he was not using him, he was not playing him. Nkunku, he came to meet, so that's understandable. Sanchez, I'm sure he's not happy with Sanchez, but obviously he won't come and say, "Oh, Sanchez is trash" or anything like that. He'll just say, "Oh, he's my number one." Fans don't get the politics of football and the public
Exactly.
image thing. He has to preserve the image of the club. That is why top managers like Mourinho and Conte will not get big clubs in England again to coach because of their off the field issues and how they talk in public. Conte, if he doesn't get what he wants, he starts behaving like a 3-year-old child. He'll complain and talk like what he did at Spurs. So Maresca won't come and say Sanchez is shit. But Fabrizio himself said, unless Fabrizio is a liar, he said the manager gave his thumbs up on the Mignan deal. You get me? As to whether we wanted Mignan or not, that one, I don't know. It's everybody's opinion. But it's clear the manager, certain players, he didn't want them or he doesn't want them. But he's also a new manager, so he can't complain much. He's not a Guardiola where he has enough power to say, no, I do not want this signing. Get me this. He's just starting. So it's like you have to also try and play along and then try and use Chelsea to achieve something so that now later you can have power. If let's say you are to win a Champions League or something, then he has more leverage in the transfer, in terms of transfer decisions. But for now, I don't think he'll come and say this player is trash or anything like that. He would never say that. But our fans, of course, they fail to understand some of these minor things.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, guys, if you're new, have you subscribed to the channel? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. You can comment, you ask any question on the chat. Also, give us your thoughts about the Premier League fixtures. Are you happy about our first 5 games? And also, do you think we're going to beat Crystal Palace? Those kind of things. And also, I'm getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't. So let me read the comments on the chat. It says big up people, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, coach. It says, bro, my phone from another, my phoning from another planet at the beginning. It says, Lord. It's, IB says, if an offer of 35 million come in for Wesley Fofana, will you accept that? 100%, I will do that because at the moment, Wesley Fofana is an injury-prone player. So, as much as I like the player, I think it's fair enough to let him go. So, what are your thoughts about that? Kwai, will you take it?
Before I answer that question, what frustrates me the most of about this Fofana deal? We knew his injury history. Like, we knew his injury history. It's like how Arsenal signed Tomiyasu. If you check his injury history before joining Arsenal, it was bad. We knew Fofana had had a surgery on his knee. And we went ahead to not even pay 30 million, but 70 million. And I get that Todd Bowley, fine, you are not you are not a sporting director. I don't know much about football, but at least these are some of the things where you don't need a PhD in football management to know that this was a bad deal from the beginning, especially for that price. Especially for that price. So I don't think anyone is going to pay 30 million for Wesley Fofana because right now, as a result of COVID, a lot of the teams outside of England are broke. Just a few like Bayern, Madrid, and one or two have enough money to, take a gamble. So the way I see things, the best thing we can do is probably loan him out, then try and recuperate a bit of the money through loan fees. But who is going to sign for Fana? 30 million. 30 million pounds is almost 40 million euros. Come on, who is going to pay that money? So I don't see him leaving. He's going to play, he's going to break down, he's going to play, he's going to break down, unless a miracle from heaven happens. I don't see him leaving, and he's also on huge salaries. These are some of the dynamics that when I say they are like people will say, oh, but you are not in charge, you are not a millionaire. Some of these things is just common sense. I don't think he was taking much in Leicester, and no team was also rushing him. So you could have put him on a very 130, 140 salary something. At least with that one, it would be easy to move him out. But I think he's on £170,000 a week. And how many teams can afford that? So I don't see him leaving. The best for me, personally, particularly, is just loan him out. Keep Chaloba, keep Sa, keep the rest, keep Tosin, keep Kowo, sell Badiashile if you can, and get someone in, and get left back to help Cucurella because I'm afraid of the day he'll break down. Cucurella, I'm afraid of the day he'll break down. Looking at the number of matches he has played across the year, from Pochettino's time to Europe to now. So for me, Fafana, I don't think we're even going to get 10 million. Why would a team even pay 10 million for Fofana, an injury-prone player? And we pay that. It frustrates me. That deal to Bully, like, it really, really, of all the money wasted, that deal really frustrated me because I know he's a top player when he's fit, but hardly does he get fit. It's like buying Reece James for 70 million, knowing he's an injury-prone player. Like, come on. If not for Maresca, if James had continued on that trajectory, he would have become like a Fofana. So this deal, it frustrates me. But 30 million, no one is paying that money. So we are stuck with another waste of money because he's not going to play. We've paid 70 million for this guy, and he hardly plays. He's a very good player when he's fit, but who's going to pay that money? Nobody.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to sell him actually because, like you said, he's an injury prone on high wages. And how much are they going to offer for an injury prone player? So Chelsea says if you sign another second striker, I'll lose it. Okay, question to you, bro. What kind of striker would you prefer Chelsea? Because I think Jackson and Lem Delep are two different strikers. That's why we always complain about we need two different strikers so that every game we're going to have a different option to do because Jackson every game, and we know Jackson sometimes is good, sometimes it's not good. So I'm glad we signed a player like Lem Delep so that he can challenge him to be a better player. And I hope Jackson this season improves, add more goals than last season or even the previous season because now I have competition. He needs to fight for his place. He needs to do well on the pitch so that we can win games. So
Yeah. To answer the question, well, how I see things right now is that I don't think Chelsea will sign another striker until Jackson is sold.
yeah,
Because if you sign another, let's say we sign Hugo Ekitike, if you're a club coming to buy Jackson, if I was coming with 40 million, now I'll come with 25 to 30 million because now you have three strikers and you don't want to have three strikers on your books. You understand? And I think
yeah,
Delap being here and Jackson being here, two different profiles. Of course, all what Mikel said was true. I mean, I wanted Osimhen, but I can't cry over spilled milk. It's what has happened has happened. But having Delap and Jackson, two different profiles, I think if we are not getting any reasonable transfer fee, we shouldn't sell him. I think Jackson, we hung him up to dry a bit because why would you sign a player from Villarreal who played basically a second season as a striker or as a second striker as your main man? You see, if Jackson was coming off the bench and he was having these numbers, I don't think most Chelsea fans would attack him or antagonize him as they do currently. You understand? So for me, if we don't get a good transfer money or an amount for Jackson, I'll go into the season with Delap and Jackson as my strikers. But what I want them to do is fill that left hand side with a quality left winger. That's my major issue. But who would I go for? I'll probably consider Hugo Ekitike, provided it's not 100 million euros, because that 100 million euros is 85 million pounds. And that price tag alone on a club like Chelsea, where we are still developing, he's likely to flop. If they weigh him down with that transfer fee. That's why Liverpool are trying their best to make the Florian Wirtz deal sound like 100 million, and then we just added some 16 million add-ons. If that was the fee, Man City would have paid it. If that was a fee, Man City would have paid that money. Because Liverpool are not richer than Man City. But there's more than that. But they are trying to use the media to cover it. But to answer your question, I would have gone for Hugo Ekitike because Osimhen and Delap is a similar mode kind of striker or similar kind of striker. But Hugo Ekitike, provided it's not 100 million euros, 60 is fine. 60 million pounds for Hugo Ekitike. That would have been perfect because I've watched a bit of him since we showed interest. I've watched actual 90 minutes, and I like what I see, and having two different profiles would help us because not every match the lap it will suit the lap. There are some matches where you will need someone who can stretch the defense and provide what Jackson provides. In as much as Jackson is a terrible finisher, I think there are elements of his game that really helps the team. And Eketike is relatively a better finisher than Jackson, and gives you what Jackson does, but with better finishing. So if Jackson is to be sold, I would go for Hugo Ekitike, provided he's not 100 million signing, because such high price tag, it comes with a lot of pressure. As Caicedo said, he said when he signed him for that amount of money, he wanted to do everything on the pitch, and he had to. It was so serious. He had to get a sports psychologist to help him. So if outside of the transfer fee, I'd have gone for Hugo Ekitike. Thank you.
Now let's see what will happen. Chelsea says Chelsea should sign Osimhen or Sesco as a striker. For me personally, I don't think Chelsea will focus on a striker right now, but maybe in the latter stage of the transfer window, so that you can
Yeah,
see will the teams budge if we want a new striker. So let's see what will happen, bro.
yeah. I totally agree with what you say because the way I see things, you see, there's rumor United want Hugo Ekitike and all that, but right now teams don't want to buy players on such expensive transfer fees unless it's absolutely necessary. So I was even surprised Liverpool paid that amount for Florian Wirtz because if the player doesn't perform, it becomes a huge headache on you. You get me? And coming with that price tag, it comes with this pressure. So maybe as the season goes by, probably Frankfurt would, they would reduce their transfer demand. For Sesko, personally, from what I'm reading and from what his agent said, it looks like he's not in a rush to leave RB Leipzig. I think his way of thinking is, if Arsenal can strike an agreement with RB Leipzig, then I'll leave. But if not, I'm comfortable where I am. But for Sesko, if I was his agent, I would advise him to still stay at Leipzig because he just got 13 goals in the Bundesliga, which is not impressive, frankly speaking. So stay at Leipzig. You are still young. Don't rush it. Develop. Get your mentals right. Get your finishing technique right. Like Leipzig is like the finishing school. You know, you are still in school, so complete. Don't rush. Don't rush it. Because if you come to the Premier League is the big leagues. It's the big leagues. Some of the you have nice videos. You have nice categories of goals, bicycle kicks, and no. But I've also seen very poor shooting from him. And if he brings that to the Premier League, he will struggle. And Arsenal right now are at a stage where they want to win the league now. And I don't think Arteta, if he's to go trophyless for the next 3 years, he will still be at Arsenal. So I think if I was set school, I would stay at Leipzig and continue my development. But as I said, I agree with you. I think the striker market probably towards the end of the season, towards the end of the window, looking at how things, because Chelsea have to sell. People don't understand these things too. Chelsea have to sell. We can't just go ahead and buy players when we don't have players we've also sold to replace those players. You get me? People don't factor in those things. They think it's probably FIFA that we are playing. But Chelsea also need to sell a lot of players too, before we can also bring in a lot of signings. So Delap was just a fortunate 30 million deal that we couldn't avoid. And in Ipswich, he's not taking much money. So if we sign Delap, his salary demands are not going to be that much. It's just going to be a reasonable range. But we have to sell before we can sign. So I think the day we sell Jackson is probably the day we move in for a striker. But for now, I don't see us moving in for a striker. I see us probably signing a winger, a left winger, rather than a striker, as things stands right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let me read some comments and then we're going to talk about the Premier League fixtures. Or we can get Osimhen for free next season if he runs his contract down. Let's see what will happen. But I don't think Victor will get Victor Osimhen at Chelsea. I think the chances of getting Victor Osimhen now is so slim, especially after signing the lap and giving me an email number 9. So let's see. Anything is possible. Never say never in life because anything is possible, right? We can get
Yeah, it's
even
possible, but
Cristiano Ronaldo is a free agent at the moment. We can even get him. So it's
yeah,
possible.
Yeah, but you know, okay, in this world, you can't rule out anything 100%. But if I was to strike it as a percentage, I'll probably give it a 10% chance of Chelsea signing Osimhen. Of course, if he comes, I'll still be happy. But the way I see things, why are teams not moving for the guy? Because Liverpool need a striker, especially if Darwin Núñez leaves. And for Liverpool, if I'm looking at a team like Liverpool, probably Osimhen will help you because sooner or later, Salah, at his age, will run out of gas. And you need someone to take that goal scoring burden off Salah, transition smoothly. So why are Liverpool not rushing in for him? Why are United not rushing in for him? Hugo Ekitike is probably expensive than Osimhen, even though Osimhen is a better striker than Hugo. But why? Why? That it begs the question why. Why are teams running away from him? I'm not going to allege or say anything here, but that question it keeps popping up. So I don't think Chelsea will sign Osimhen. If Chelsea were to sign Osimhen, I think Mikel would have been saying positive things, in the media. He would have probably given some hints, but he himself said he thinks that chapter is closed once we sign the lap. You understand?
Yeah, no, I think we are living in a world of every club are putting high release clause on this player. So it's either you pay the release clause, you don't or don't get the player. As simple as that. Look at it, what happened with Enzo Fernandez. We wanted him so bad, but they wanted the release clause. So it's football. We can't run away from it.
But
So
for Enzo, we didn't pay the clause. We overpaid the clause, but with better payment
yes,
structure terms. And I think Napoli are not insistent on give me the money, everything right now. They want to get rid of Osimhen because Osimhen too is costing them on their books. So I think if you send the fee there, and you see right now the demand for the guy is not high. You see the demand for Ikitike is higher than Osimhen as we speak. So they don't have much leverage because they want to get rid of him, similar to how we want to get rid of Sterling. You understand? We want to get rid of Sterling because of the enormous salary we gave a player who was in a declining phase of his career. So for Osimhen, I think if you send that money, probably you pay a little bit more upfront. I think Napoli will agree to that deal because they really want to get him off their books. And they could do with those transfer funds because Conte wants a lot of players. Conte is building a team that I'm probably excited to watch them next season with KDB and Co being there. So I don't think they'll necessarily demand the release clause like going to buy a player from Benfica where there's a lot of interest. I think just the payment structure will be a key component in them selling Osman because there's not much market for the guy. I'm really, really surprised he didn't go to the Hilal. I'm surprised he didn't go to Saudi because that was his mistake. He should have come to Chelsea for that loan. I understand that Chelsea lowballed you and all that, but you see, your performance in Turkey is not respected or was not going to be respected as much as if you had done that in the Premier League. And this is why I think his advisors got it wrong. If Osman had that form he had in Galatasaray with Chelsea, the market for him will be strong. Very, very, very strong. Because now everybody will know that, okay, he can also do it in the Premier League, one of the toughest leagues where strikers struggle. So if you can do in the Premier League, right now your leverage, you could even command more money. If that is, I'm not saying he's following money, no. I don't know him personally, so I can't talk about his character. But I think decision-wise, whoever advised him the Galatasaray, it wasn't the best. You should have come to Chelsea, be the main man, because you would have been the main man, get us the Champions League comfortably, and I'm sure Chelsea would have given you a very reasonable salary. Because these owners, one thing I know is that when it comes to increasing salaries, they do it. They've increased Palmer's own, they've increased Jackson's own just after a season. They are planning to increase Caicedo's own. So he probably should have come to Chelsea, do those exploits he did in Galatasaray in the Premier League, and his market would have been very, 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 very strong. But he went to Turkey, which even if you score 100 goals, no one really respects you there. No one really, really respects you. Look at Jokeres. He's begging for Arsenal, but Arsenal are begging for Sesko, a 13-goal striker. They are choosing that over you, Jokeres, who is most likely a well-rounded finisher. So I think the Turkey move didn't really do him much justice, honestly speaking. It didn't do him much justice at all.
but at the same time, I'm glad he went there so that he cannot sit down and not playing football. So I'm dead about it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, for that one, you see, he. That's for that one. He has to go and play football elsewhere. But I think he should have accepted the Chelsea offer because Chelsea are afraid. You see, we went to go and bring Lukaku and Sterling. You know, people say Chelsea don't sign experienced players, but that's not true. We signed the wrong experienced players, players that were on the decline. Sterling was on the decline. So why you going to offer him such a huge salary? Nobody was in for Sterling. Nobody would have paid his demands. So I don't know who is doing the negotiation on the table, but the person is very poor. Very, very poor. Because you have to look at the player. Is there a demand for him? Sterling wants to live in London. So why go and offer him 350k? He's on the decline. You understand? So he has to play football, definitely. He couldn't stay on the bench for a full year. But I'm saying the option that Chelsea came with, he should have taken it. And I know he would have, I believe, of course, he could have flopped, but I believe strongly that he could have performed in the Premier League. And then when he had performed, the market will be richer for him. But, well, he refused and he went to Galatasaray. You know, in Turkey, your performances there don't really count. You're not a young prodigy. You see, if he was 22 years and he was performing like that, probably teams will rush him. But teams don't really respect that league. And teams are afraid to put players on high salary when you have not performed in their teams. Because the only reason why Salah is on that money is because he has performed so well in Liverpool. But when he came, he was not on that £400,000 they put him on at the beginning. So you should have come here, prove yourself, which I believe he could have been able to do. And then after such a wonderful performance, you could make a request for a higher income. And definitely, because we were crying out for a striker last season. We were crying out. People say Jackson got injured, but even before the injury, he was not performing. He was not performing. His form dipped. So I think whoever advised him, he should have just taken it for the time being. It's just a loan. It's just a loan. You could have commanded more money. Probably Arsenal would have rushed him. Probably Liverpool would have rushed him because of how well you've performed for Chelsea. So, but wherever he ends up, it's his own decision, it's his own choice. I respect his decision. I'm not to decide for him, but in my perspective, this is how I see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. IB says Liverpool are after Hugo. Issue is that is the Saudi deal for Nunes fall through. Brentford evaluation was based on Liverpool and Chelsea chasing him, and we have
His
Moss.
his evaluation is not based on Chelsea because the Frankfurt director, sorry to interrupt, has
Yeah,
clearly stated it's 100 million or nothing. So it's not because of Chelsea. The reason why Chelsea are backed off is because they thought Frankfurt would, change their stance, but still they are adamant on their stance that 100 million or nothing. So it's not because of Chelsea or Liverpool. And they feel like after Florian Wirtz has been sold for 150 million or let's say 130 million pounds, they too could get 100 million for Hugo Ekitike. You understand? So that is why when teams make the inquiries, immediately they back off. And the only reason why United are interested is because Gyökeres is prioritizing Arsenal. He's basically rejected United, but let's put it the way the journalists put it. He's prioritizing Arsenal, but Arsenal too are not really prioritizing Gyökeres. They're rather prioritizing Sesko. And Sesko's agents and Leipzig to they also want that 80 to 100 million euros, that range, because they also feel like Sesko potentially can become a world-class striker. So the market is really messed up. It's really messed up. But me, I don't want us signing such unproven players on high transfer fees, and then the pressure of that transfer fee could make them flop. But I'm sure Frankfurt will reduce it as the window goes by because nobody will pay that money. That is why even Liverpool, you see, Liverpool are thinking about it this way that instead of paying 100 million, why don't I try that with Newcastle? Let me give Newcastle 100 million or 116 or 120 and let me see. Because if to pay 100 million for Hugo Ekitike, why don't I use that money to even, move towards Isaac? Probably it could work. That is why now there are rumors of Liverpool, trying to see if Newcastle are open to a move. You understand? So the 100 million euros, no one is paying that. United don't have the funds to pay 100 million euros for Hugo Ekitike. So unfortunately, that's the market. But I'm happy teams are not caving into those ridiculous demands. Because the more they do that, the worse the market becomes. I want the markets to be restored. So I'm also happy Real Madrid also signing players on a free, so that the market doesn't get ruined anymore.
Yeah, Real Madrid are so clever in terms of making sure the players don't extend their contract at their current club so that they can come to Real Madrid for free. So big up to Moss here. It's first time seeing you here. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your input. And those of you also haven't subscribed, please kindly subscribe. He says this, it always hard for us to get a proper number 9. Since Costa, you can't pay crazy if you haven't proven yourself. 100%. I agree with this statement.
Yeah, I also, you see, I do. People, they'll say it's not your money, but it's the club. If you support the club too, you have to make sure that everything too goes on well. Because right now, we tried the proven. Koulibaly was proven. He was considered one of the best top 10 defenders in the world before we signed him. You understand? We paid that ridiculous amount for Lukaku. You see, we paid that ridiculous amount for Sterling. When we signed Sterling, the Premiership team, the media were like, yeah, Sterling, he's proven he can bring that winning mentality and all that rubbish. But we signed those players, and look at how it ended for us. You get me? So fortunately, Cucurella turned it around because he was on the trajectory of a flop. So I understand the teams now. Come to my club, prove yourself. When you prove yourself, I will increase your salary. It's simple. Because look at United, Casemiro. Look at the wages he's on. Casemiro had nowhere to go to. No other team was chasing Casemiro. Real Madrid wanted to kick him out, and you go and sign him for 70 million, and also put him on high wages. All Casemiro wanted from Real Madrid was an extended period. Real Madrid just wanted a 1-year extension. By United, you provided a 3-year extension. So you have the leverage. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they negotiate deals. Because negotiation of deals, you don't need a PhD in marketing or in accounting. It's just you analyzing things well with the brain God has given us. So you look at United, they are struggling. Sancho, look at you see Sancho, Chelsea were interested. But the moment United offered him, I think 280 or 300,000, Marina decided to pull away because putting Sancho on such a high salary doesn't make sense when he has not yet performed in your team. And you see, when you buy a player for a high transfer fee, it's not advisable to also put them on a high wages. Because when they flop, it makes it very difficult to sell. And look at what's happening with us, with Sterling, with Chilwell. Look at United with Casemiro. He doesn't want to leave. He would rather, exhaust his contract and then leave on a free. Because Casemiro from after United, what next? There's no top club coming for you. You understand? So I understand the teams right now, and the financial rules are becoming tighter, stricter, and harder to manipulate. So I understand the teams. We have to literally sell our own hotels to ourselves. Can you believe this? To just balance PSR rules and all that. So teams are afraid. Teams don't want to risk it anymore. So right now, teams want to buy smart. So if you look at it carefully, if you look at the demographic in terms of age, teams are signing young players. When was the last time Madrid signed a 30-year-old player? You see, none. When was the last time? It's been a long time. But back in the day, Madrid could sign a player who's 29, 30 for 40, 60, 80 million pounds. But right now, they're not doing that. You understand? Teams are signing young players because young players have a resale value, and then they have a resale value. So at least if they flop, probably you could recuperate some of your money back. But if you go and sign a 30-year-old player who is not proven in your league, and you put him on very high salary wages and he flops, it's hard to sell him off because he's declining. So I understand the teams in the league. I understand the teams in the world perfectly. Teams, you are not Real Madrid or Barca, players don't want to reduce their salaries for you. But I understand teams like Chelsea. If you come and flop, it makes it very hard to kick you out because no team will buy you. And even if a team will buy you, don't pay you that money. You see, Sancho didn't want to join because we couldn't offer him that money he was taking at United, which I was really surprised because I thought Sancho was hungry to play. But the way I'm seeing things, I think Sancho wants to run down his contract and go as a free agent. I think that because he's left with on his deal. So after this season, he's a free agent. You understand? So right now, I understand teams come and prove yourself here first, then we'll increase your salary. I understand the teams, but then again, too, the directors too, there are certain players you could sign that would also, even though they are not proven like that, but they could also help the team. But I don't want players that we sign without the manager's input, because the Joao Pedro thing, he's in that category of Nkunku. Can we confidently say Joao Pedro is better than Felix? You see, these profiles, the manager didn't know how to utilize them. So what's the point in signing another profile like that? And they'll come and lie and say, oh, he can be a backup to Palmer, he can play on the he's not comfortable always 50, 60 matches on the wings as a left winger. He's not comfortable there. He would want to come inside, and that is where Palmer will play. If Palmer doesn't get injured, Palmer is likely to play 80% of our matches. So if you're a backup to Cole Palmer, you're not going to play any football. You're just going to play just a few matches in the cup competitions, provided we go far. You understand? So these kind of signings, the directors, I'm not saying buy what the coach wants every time, but deliberate with the coach. Don't exclude him in the decisions. Bring him on the table. What do you think? Let's work together. Let's come to a unanimous decision and then go for that player. You understand?
Yeah, 100%. So let's finish up the comments and then we're going to talk about the Premier League fixtures. So Chelsea says his family advice Osman to chase their money bags. And it says, I thought 100 mil is 80 million, 85 million. And then Moses, hence players were running away from Jason number 9 in the past. Yeah, but anyway, I'm glad we signed Lem Dilep because he worked under Enzo Maresca and the coach knows him very well. So it's not a player that, as much as Chelsea fans wanted Victor Osman and everything, I think sometimes it's good to sign a player that the coach really want or already work together. For example, you can see the relationship between Conte and Lukaku. They always have good ending memories. They always win trophies together. So it's a good thing. Hopefully, Liam Delap will challenge Nicholas Jackson and we win trophies when he's here. But still raw, hopefully can do well this season because
Oh yeah, you see, the way I see things, I don't want Maresca can get the best out of the two of them. It's just how he talks to them. I don't want it to be like, yes, we are competing, we all know that, but it should rather be let's help improve each other's game, because there are aspects of the game where Jackson is better than Delap, and there are also aspects where Delap is better than Jackson. But the good news is both of you are young, so it means you can improve on those aspects where you are not so strong at. So they should work together. If I was a coach training, I'll let them be together, like be around each other, train together, like shoot together. If it's shooting drills, let's shoot together, let's help each other. That kind of cooperative kind of thing where Jackson, you have scored a goal, the lap is also coming from the bench. You give him the thumbs up, like, bro, you should go and do the job. The lap scores, he's also telling Jackson, come on, you can do it. Not necessarily you are my enemy and you're here to replace me kind of thing. Because Jackson, he's someone who is quite emotional from what I'm seeing. He's quite emotional. And I think having Delap will help him. But it depends on how he is seeing it. Because is he going to get to the point where he's like, okay, I've given up. Delap is the number one. Because there are matches where Delap will struggle and where Jackson is the only one that can help us. So it depends on how Maresca talks to them. He really needs to psych them well so that we can get a cooperative team. Because for us to win, we need everybody. Looking at the way the fixtures are many, and unfortunately for us too, we are playing in an extended tournament right after completing the conference league. Because the first match, I could tell the players were tired. People were saying the manager is making excuses, but come on, you don't need to be a doctor and see this. They were clearly fatigued, clearly fatigued. But people want us to be playing so strong right from the onset after having such a difficult season towards the end. See, the end, they use a lot of energy a lot of strength. It takes a toll on them. So the manager, this party has to rotate. His rotation aspect, I hope he improves on it next season. Don't play Caicedo to the 80th minute and bring Andre Santos to play 10 minutes. That won't
Oh, we lost him again,
be
guys. So
So I really hope Maresca learned his lesson last season, because if he doesn't rotate well and any of the first team players are to get injured, if you bring in the bench option, that bench option will need about 10 matches to get into the groove of the game, or to get or acclimatize to the nature of the matches. So he should learn to rotate well. Talk to the midfielders, talk to everybody, let them know that it's not every match you are going to play 90 minutes. Some matches I will rest you. I'll give you that rest so that you can recover and not go and get injured, because everyone is important to the team.
yeah, 100%, 100%, bro. I agree with you. So our first fixtures is against Crystal Palace. So what are your thoughts about this game? Do you think we stand a chance to win this game?
Okay, for this match, I think if I'm looking the way I'm looking at things, provided nobody gets injured, I think it's a match we have a 70% chance of winning. I'm not going to say 100% because it's football. So I think we have a strong chance of winning, and it's at home. It's at home too, so we have the home advantage. So I think, yeah, I believe we can win. I strongly believe we can win. But then again, it's football. Anything can happen. Conte's second season against Burnley, we got a red card and we ended up losing that match. So we need. But if I'm looking at it on answers on paper, I think we can win comfortably. I think we can win.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, I think we can win as well, because as much as Crystal Palace are a very good team, uh, we are good too also. And last season we couldn't win both games because of we missed so many chances. I remember both games very well. We missed so many good chances. So this season, hopefully Liam Delep can be that guy who help us to win most of our games.
Yeah, and yeah, on Delap too. The reason why I'm not worried is that, number one, the transfer fee is just 30 million. So it doesn't come with a lot of pressure. And number two, he's working with a manager who has worked with him in his youth level. And number three, he's English. So they won't attack him that much in the media as they would a different nationality. Because that one, we can all be honest here, there's English bias in the media. That one, I won't move away from it. Because I'm looking at the Florian Wirtz deal, see the way they are praising it. But when we signed other players, they told us that we don't know if he can prove himself or not. But when Liverpool signed the player, now, oh, he's a top talent, he's generational, he's worth it, and all that. You understand? Even though he's coming from the same Bundesliga, and Nkunku was the top goal scorer. He's coming from the same Bundesliga Werner was coming from. He was not a bigger talent than Kai Havertz. Witz was not a bigger talent. The name Kai Havertz, when he was playing in Leipzig, in Leverkusen, Witz had not touched those levels. You understand? So yes, so I think the 30 million, it doesn't put too much pressure on him, and I like the fundamentals. He's not just trying to score, but at least his link up is not bad, as some people told me it is. Because I saw him moving to the wings, trying to pass it simple. Like sometimes Jackson, he needs to keep it simple. Delap is, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. I liked what I saw, and long may it continue. May he not have any injury that will slow him down. Yeah, so for the lap, I'm confident. If he flops, I'll be very surprised. If he flops, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, yeah. Personally, I don't think he will flop, or he will do bad. I think he will add more goals more than that he did at Leipzig, at Ipswich Town last season, because at Ipswich Town he had less chances compared to Nicholas Jackson. Also, Hugo Gatiga, a striker that we've been linked with. So I don't think he'll do bad. And his movement was wonderful to watch. Hopefully, I can build on that, be a good player for us. Big up, Dante. How are you, bro?
Yeah, big up to Bego. Koi, is it? Sorry.
Yes,
Is
please.
that
It's
Yeah.
Koi.
Cucurella the Pope?
Yeah, it's Koi.
The Pope Cucurella? Sorry, I'm a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
late.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
You
I took
know,
a bit longer than I needed to. Sorry, Tobago.
yeah. Cuckoo. I like Cuckoo because I think he's inspirational. Like he's so determined. He doesn't give up. Like his aura. Like I just like everything about the guy. So I
Yeah,
had to
spot
just
on.
put him in there. Yeah.
The best, what probably top two, top three left backs in the world, 100%.
Yeah, that is why I want us to sign someone to help him because if you know we've all watched football, if you continuously play for a long extended period and you have to break down, sometimes the injury might be serious. And we've seen players where when they recover from injuries, they become a shadow of themselves. Because I remember when Kuku injured, I think he got injured and he got
Yeah,
I think
look, I'm sure that's in the. They're working on that.
yeah, so I really hope they get a competent backup and then the coach rotates well. The coach last season his rotation was not so good. Like rotate them well so that they can rest, and then in the key matches we can have our strong 11 because our 11 I trust most of our players, not all of them, but I trust most of them. So yeah,
Yeah. Look, some players, Cucurella, for example, they're better and they're more fitter when they play all the time. That's just how their body is. They like to play, and it helps them do even better. Some players don't like to take many breaks, and it's not good for them. Actually, it works. It's the opposite effect. They actually get injured if they don't play. So yes, for some players, and they'll have the data on that. These days with the science behind it, they have so much data and everything behind it. Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't risk him if they don't really need to. But we still, either way, we still need a backup 100%. But he's one of those guys. I think that because of his frame, the way he is as well, and the way he plays, I think he's one of those that doesn't really get injured. He's one of that type of character to me. Also, his mentality as well helps a lot.
Yeah, and then sorry about it. I thought I sent a link in the group, so I just check right now, and it says retry. So that means that link didn't go through. So I've just noticed right now when you say send a link, I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh man. But I've just sent a link. Hopefully,
Doesn't matter. No, no. Like I said, I was late anyway, so I couldn't come earlier. I was supposed to be half an hour ago, but yeah, I couldn't make it.
okay, no problem. So, what are your thoughts about the first game against Crystal Palace? Do you think we stand a chance to win against them?
Oh, of course, 100%. Look, a lot of people saying it's quite an easy opening, especially. All right, let's London sort of little derbies in London, all of them. So one positive is we don't have to travel to none of these. They're all around the area. So uh, they're not the strongest of teams. Crystal Palace is probably the only one probably there that's probably the hardest out of those. West Ham's in transition. They don't know what's happening. They're going to lose a couple of their good players because they have to for PSR. Chris just depends who they buy as well and who they lose. If they lose Guehi
Mm.
to us maybe or to someone else, to Newcastle, well, they're going to have a big hole to fill there as well. So maybe Eze as well. You never know. So I think it's a pretty good run. The only thing is, like I said, they're all London derbies in a way, so you never know in those. But pretty comfortable to say, especially that first one. I think will be pretty good. In probably the first three games, we should realistically, really, we should probably get 9 points out of those first three games.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
yeah, I agree as well. I agree as well because if
Depends
we
how
have
we
a
play as
strong
well. I mean,
start,
we
yeah.
can dominate one of those games, but they have one chance, they score, and it's 1-1, and we miss 10 chances. Well,
No, but
maybe
you
then it's
know,
okay, but I don't see us struggling in any of those games, to be honest.
yeah, you know, last season some of these matches I don't blame the coach that much because we're missing so many clear cuts. It's not even half chances. Clear, like the Ipswich game that we drew. In the first, I think, 15, 20 minutes, we got good chances to just kill the game 3-0 within the first 20 minutes. And we just, squandered all those chances. And then if we scored, and then it's like now you're struggling to come back and all that. So I think with having the profile of a box striker or a natural striker could probably help us this time around as compared to having Oli Jackson as the main guy, but having a two-way threat can help us. So I'm confident we win. But it's football. I won't underestimate Palace because they have a good manager too. He's not a bad manager at all, and they are not a team to underestimate. But I think we could get a good start, and who knows what can happen? Who knows?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. For me personally,
Yeah, look, Palace, like I said, they could
yeah,
lose.
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, if they do that, then they're in trouble. They could go all of a sudden they could go badly. So,
Yeah,
you
I
there,
don't know
Sebastian?
whether it's my network or you're cutting off.
I think probably it's your
Because I
network
came, that's
because
why. Probably because I
mine
came.
is stable and I can hear Dante quite well.
Okay, I think it's my KFC Wi-Fi. It's fine. So you can go ahead, Dante.
It's the battle of KFC and McDonald's.
But to the
Yeah, I was
Arsenal
asking. Yeah,
fans
go
that
ahead,
are
continue.
yeah, so to the Arsenal fans that are saying the PGMO has fixed the fixtures, didn't you say United is a relegation team? So what's your problem if you are playing a team that finished 15th last season? Like I've seen Arsenal fans on the timeline, like they've already made the excuses up even before the season has started. And like
It's not a hard game.
I'm just, I don't know. Right now, if I was an Arsenal fan at this point out, because Maresca has been here 5 years or almost 6 years, and all he's won is an FA Cup, I don't think I'll be happy. Yes, we were second, but no, 5 years. I don't think I would be happy. I don't think I would be happy. But that's them. That's them. But yes, to us, I think we have good fixtures this time around. Because last season it was Man City, and even that game, we got chances to score, but we didn't bury it. I don't think Man City dominated us like 100%. I think they got their chances, they buried it. We got our chances, we
Exactly.
missed it. So I just hope this season, with the help of the lap and hopefully the new signings we get, we can, win these matches relatively easier as compared to last season.
Look, none of these matches are easy, but I think we're much better set up. And I think if we improved already by signing the lap up front, which Nicholas Jackson is a problem against teams that sit deep. He's not effective, but the lap can play well against those because his physicality and he's more of a box striker. So that will help us a lot, 100%. Like I said, I think very important. We don't have to travel for 4 weeks, nearly 5 weeks. Actually, we don't have to travel for 5 weeks nearly. We're staying in London. I think that's good after the Club World Cup and then the preseason. We're not going to have to travel anywhere for a little bit over a month. We stay in London, so that's going to help a little bit as well.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So I just hope we get a good start. I'm not saying we win the league 100%, but it could help. It could help because right now the league is unpredictable a bit. No one foresaw Man City having the season that they had last season, where they almost missed out on a Champions League spot. I never thought that could happen. I could never foresee something like that happening. And
They've strengthened well. They'll be back.
yeah, they'll be back. But let's see, because the league. Rodri is back, but is he going to be the same Rodri?
That's a big one. Yeah.
Is he going to be the same Rodri? The levels he was showing. I think you need a bit more time, maybe a month or 2 or 3, to get back to probably his best levels.
Look, yeah, he's one of the best
Oh
in the
yeah,
world
yeah,
at what he does, and it's not like he in the defensive midfield. He doesn't have to play that hard there in that defensive midfield. He sits back mostly. He doesn't, he'll crash the box on set pieces, but more than that, he sits back. And as we know, Man City have 70% of the possession most of the time, so he doesn't really overexert himself in that position. And he's been injured before, and he came back, and it looked like he didn't miss a step last time he was injured as well. So I think he'll be all right. I think he's too good of a player that not to be all right. And the position he plays, that he needs a cool head in that position, and that's exactly what he has. He doesn't exert himself like crazy because Man City has all the possession most of the time anyway.
What are your thoughts on Gusto? Because Gusto is not performing like the Gusto I knew last season, but some are attributing it to the role he's playing, and I
Yeah.
don't know if it's only I get the role thing. He probably doesn't get that inverted thing, but simple passes he's misplacing them and all that. I don't think that one boils down to the role. Like I don't know. Good. Yeah,
Yeah. Look,
yeah. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on Gusto? Yeah.
you're a right back, when you're a right back like he was, where you're just basically just running up and down and getting some crosses in, and then just basically defending. Well, it's much easier. It's more simple. Uh, a lot of players start out as right backs or left backs if they're not that technical or that good. When you're talking about in the youth levels, they go to left back, right back, left midfield, right midfield. Usually, that's where you put those type of players, and that's exactly what he is. Because let's not forget, he was 19. People are forgetting how young we signed him. So I think he struggled to adapt to that new role to invert, because you need to be much more of a technical player to hold possession and to break lines and passes, and you have to have a bit more in you going forward as well. And we know he doesn't have that. He doesn't have much in him going forward, offensive side of the game. Defensively, he's pretty solid most of the time, but even there, he had a couple of lapses during the season. But yeah, I think he's struggling. I think he'll be better. He'll be training more for it. I think he'll be better this next season. If he's not, because they might need to move him on, because then he just won't be able to grasp the system. So that will tell everyone that he's probably not. He's not for this system.
Yeah,
That again depends. Hopefully Maresca does well, which I think he will. I don't see Maresca leaving. That's the only way he might get a reprieve. I think if Maresca leaves for some reason, another coach comes in that plays with wing backs or like left back, right back, then he'll be okay. But yeah, I still see him struggling a little bit. But hopefully he gets a little bit better because he's learned a little bit more. But being that young and he's not really that a technical player, an offensive sort of minded player, it's gonna take him a bit longer. Like I said, people forget he was only 19, which not he's a young kid still. He's still learning, he's still growing and developing, to be honest, because he's at that age till 21, you're still kind of growing. His body might change a little bit. So yeah, he struggled 100%. Definitely, he might be one of those moved on next season, maybe January or at the end of next season, if he can't adapt to it. It's just a reality. They're gonna have to look at someone else to sign someone else if that's the case.
yeah, I agree with you, bro. Let's see what will happen, but I still like Malo Gusto. Hopefully, he
Yeah, he
will
gets
do
another
more.
season. He gets another season at it.
Yes, because his first season was excellent. So let's see what will happen next season. But another thing with Malo Gusto, we can still rest Rich James. Yeah, so I'm happy about it. So,
Yeah,
guys,
we still got cover for him. Although there's probably other players more suited to cover Reece James now than actually Gusto.
and also Dante and Koi. So you agree on these 6 matches here on the absolute challenge?
So a champion. I want to.
Sorry, Tobago, you're breaking up there.
Can
What were
you
you saying?
Yeah, I was saying
can
a
you hear me
champion.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I was like a champion. Was he a right back or a centre back? I get confused
Go on, Tobago.
on where he plays. Specifically.
No, no.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Malo Guste is a right
Yeah,
back,
I think you're struggling
natural
with your
right back.
connection again, Tobago, but I can hear you now again. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm saying a champion. Is a champion a right back?
who is the right back?
I was saying it's
Go on, Tobago.
a
I can hear
champion.
you.
I was saying if a champion.
Yeah.
Oh, Achampong, yes, it's a right back.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was a centre back being forced to play the right back role. Okay, okay, okay. Because we also
No,
need to give that guy minutes. He needs to start playing regularly.
Quite
Or
sensitive.
else
Yeah.
He's the right centre back. Okay, so he's a centre back basically.
He will. He'll get plenty of
Uh,
competition,
I,
League Cup, FA.
that,
He'll play quite a bit, I think.
yeah. So, guys, do you agree
Um,
in these 6 matches we're going to win all of them?
Hopefully, if it's a percentage, I think 70% we win all of them. But I say I'll leave the 30% to anything can happen.
Yeah,
Dante, what
exactly.
about you?
Look, I think don't be surprised. There's a couple of draws there, uh, especially it depends how some teams are going to play against us. But even if there's a couple of draws there, I still see the other wins and the draw. That's a perfect start almost. So I'm pretty confident that those games, to be honest, if there's a couple of draws, that's fine. But I don't see us losing any of those games unless it's something like Koi said. Like I said, they have one chance, they shoot, it's a goal, and then we miss 10 chances and have 70% possession. Well, that can happen in football in a long season, but I don't see us struggling in any of the games, to be honest, and I don't see us losing any of those games.
Yeah, bro. I'll have to go for now. Thank you so much for having me on the stream, and nice talking to you, Dante, too. Thank you all, and please
Yeah,
like and
Koi,
subscribe.
no problem.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost $1. Just like and subscribe for us. Please support the channel. Leave your comments so that we can interact more in the comment section too. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Koi. Appreciate it,
Thank you,
bro.
Koi. Take care, bye.
So, Dante, this is our last Premier League matches, right? So, as you can see, last team is Sunderland. And then last time we played against Sunderland, we won the Premier League. So, do you think we can win the Premier League this season?
I'm not looking at that, to be honest. That's just one of those statistics that somebody found that, yeah, okay, there's not much coincidence there, unfortunately. Yeah, look, I don't look too much into that personally. So no, that to me that doesn't really matter. It is a tougher run in at that stage. Depends where those teams will be. If Brighton's fighting maybe for a conference league, or then that could Brighton could be there. Nottingham Forest could be fighting again maybe for that European spot as well. I don't know what's happening there. They can only really be better though. Liverpool away, again, maybe they might be winning. They might have won the league already by then. So that again, that could be another. So it just depends where those teams are. It's not that bad, to be honest. It looks more worse on paper, but it's really not that bad. It'll have a big difference to where all those other teams are as well. Tottenham, not too much to worry about. Tottenham, Sunderland, again, maybe relegation fight, but most likely by then they'll probably be relegated. So again, yeah, I'm not too worried about that running. I think.
Can you hear me? Dante, are you still there? Dante? Seems like we lost Dante. I don't know why that's my network or it's him. But let me check something. Can you hear me? Okay,
Wi-Fi versus
yeah,
KFC
okay.
Wi-Fi today.
I'm glad I won this time.
Yeah, it's the battle of fast food Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, like I said, I've had problems the last 4 days. I've had a lot of problems with the internet. They're doing like maintenance work, and yeah, I'm
Yeah,
getting SMSs every couple of hours that it's gonna be slow. So yeah,
yeah. even mine, I remember that time I was struggling when that like they said it's under maintenance, but I'm glad now it's much better. So for me personally, in terms of those last 6 matches, right? Manchester United home, we can beat them. Brighton away, it depends on what form are you at the moment. Because last season, the smash us 3, which I was not happy. For the test at home, we can beat them. Liverpool, like you said, it depends. They're still fighting for the Premier League or anything. Spurs is 3 points all the time. And Sunderland, with due respect, are going to win them. So, yeah, so I don't want us to
Yeah, look,
talk about all
it, those
Premier
teams
League.
are, but it's a pretty good. I don't mind it. It's a pretty good mixed. It's a nice mixed array of teams throughout the season. It's nicely balanced. I don't mind the fixtures at all.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I don't want to talk a lot about the Premier League game because there are a lot of games. So I want us to talk about a few of them, and then we talk about tomorrow's game, right? Because we have a game against Flamingo. But before that, we have some transfer news. So according to Luca Bentoni, says this: Watford and Chelsea have agreed to a 1 year loan deal for Caleb Wiley. So, what are your thoughts about this?
Mm. Because I think he would make a pretty good for Cucurella. Just the way he plays, I like the way he goes. Obviously, now he's going back on loan again, which is fine as loans. So, but yeah, this Cucurella.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the same thing too. But again, nothing we can do, right? So we just hope that everything will be okay. So let me go to this player.
Look,
I
he's
don't
probably
know.
something they've seen he's not ready, or maybe the player wanted to go on loan.
No, actually, I've read something that says that he was. Okay, let me add some. Oh, are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back. I went backstage for a
Okay.
second. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Even me, I don't know why. So I've read something about Caleb White that he's doing very well at Watford. So they wanted to keep him for another season. Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, did you see him play at Strasbourg a little bit when he first went? Because he went there, didn't he, early on?
Yes, he went there and then he got an injury. That's why he stopped playing most of their games.
He came back. Yeah, he came back to train to get over the injury, and then he never went back to Strasbourg. He went to Watford. Yeah,
Yes.
so um, yeah, he did well. I watched a couple of games and looked at his highlights at Watford, and he did very well. He's a strong left back, can cross the ball really well, can crash the box. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure why his goal would have maybe come back and back up Cucurella there, but something's obviously he's not ready. Something, or maybe like I said, the player might have said, "I want to go out on loan and I want to play more." You never know. So we don't know. We're not quite sure, but he's got a good future ahead of him. I like the way he plays, and he's a strong left back as well. He's very strong, quick, pretty good on the ball as well. So I think, yeah, he's got a future. Hopefully,
Yeah, hopefully. And then the Gerard Hato links now. There's no noise anymore. And then it seems like one side I left back. So I don't know, bro. Marco Crella really needs a rest. So I don't know what we'll do in terms of a left back. Do you see us signing a left back, to be honest?
I think it will be Cucurella. Sorry, I think it will be Gusto. To be honest, if we don't sign anyone, he'll be the backup there. I think Reece James can do it as well. We've seen him do it, and he actually played really well when he did it. I didn't mind because he inverts to midfield, so I didn't mind that. But I think Gusto is going to play that backup to Cucurella because he can do the defensive side of stuff. He can't do the offensive side, but he can do the defensive side a good job. So, I, like I said, we have Achapong that can probably do it better than Gusto on the right hand side where Reece James is. I think he's a better replacement than Gusto for to play that right centre back inverted role or inverted. I think Achapong's better suited than Gusto to play that role, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then we have Rich Moneymaker says, "Speak up, legend. We are very keen on João Pedro from Brighton." And since Rich Moneymakers bring this, what are your thoughts about João Pedro? Do you think we need him? And also, do you think he'll improve us if you sign him?
I'm not the biggest fan of him, to be honest. I don't really like the way he plays. He's very much an Nkunku, although he's taller, he's a bit more physical, but he's very much movement and the way he plays, he's very much like Nkunku. Not really a striker, not really a 10, one of those hybrid players that doesn't know, can't really play wing. He's slow and he's slowed down a lot. He's very slow now. He's very much like Nkunku now, slow. So I don't like his profile, to be honest. I'm not a fan of him. I don't think I think we're just going to basically, if we swap Nkunku and him, we're just going to get very similar, the same thing back. So I don't really want that profile. I would prefer Kudus over him because Kudus can do it, but he's got the speed, he's got the power. He can play left wing, he can play right wing, he can play 10, he can play false 9 or a 9. He can do it all, Kudus, at a much higher level, in my opinion. So no, I'm not very keen on Pedro, unless obviously if there's no other people available, we can't get a deal, and he's on the board, and he can't be that expensive either. Like I know Brighton is going to want a lot of money, but money getting that much for that player, to be honest. So minute in maybe, but again, I say I don't like his profile. I'm not a fan of players like that just sort of move around slowly and that doesn't really get involved in nothing too much. Like Nkunku, basically. He's an Nkunku, basically. He's slowed down. He was much quicker. Like Nkunku, he was much quicker, more direct when he was younger. Now they're both very slow players. Their bodies changed. They're much slower. In the terms of Nkunku, he's got a bit heavier. In the terms of Pedro, he's gotten taller. He's actually gotten quite a bit taller from since he was younger. So they're both slowed down, and I don't like that type of profile for this team. I don't think he suits us at all.
Yeah, for me personally, I like João Pedro, but I don't want him to be a priority signing or first option signing. Let's go to our first target, for example, likes of Kudus, Rogers. I won't mind them.
Exactly,
Gittins,
yeah.
even Malik Fofana. So João Pedro, for that, I don't want him to be the first option. So, but we have another news on Jimmy Gittins.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm worried about Jimmy Gittins' situation. I have a bad feeling we might not sign him because of Dortmund. Now it seems like this team becomes more stupid, right? Because I remember that first time when we linked with him, they wanted almost 40 million. Now they want 65 million for him. So I don't know, but let me read what a source from Jacob Steinberg says. Chelsea are prioritizing a move for Borussia Dortmund winger Jamie Gittins, but have also held further talks with West Ham over Mohamed Kudus. So what are your thoughts about Jamie Gittins? Do you think we can get him?
I don't think we should rush. I know we need him, but there's no way Borussia Dortmund is backing out from that evaluation now. The longer it goes, they probably will take it. If not, if there's no one else in for him and he only wants and leave that last offer on the table, and I'm pretty confident the player will push for the move. And he doesn't suit the system they're playing. He's not going to play much. He's going to be a very unhappy player.
Exactly.
And his value will plummet. Yeah, his value will plummet if he doesn't get a move. I can guarantee you that now. They're going to get like 25 million for him, 20 million, 30 if he doesn't play. So He's not a 10. They play with 2 10s mostly. So he's not a 10. He's a winger, he's a touchline winger. He doesn't suit that system at all. So I think you're going to get a very unhappy player in the dressing room, but also he's going to push for the move as well. So I think it'll get done. I think we're going to hopefully be smart about it and not raise the price because there's no need to. Just wait, be patient, and get that price, and we'll get him in. There's no point dealing with. They think they have it because of the Club World Cup tax. They think, we're going to pay a lot more. We're desperate. It's early in. Let's not just forget. They just opened the window. Deals normally don't get done very early. Some.
Yeah, this is annoying, bro. Because before the Club World Cup starts, I think they said they wanted the first. That can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so I think before the Club World Cup, they wanted around 40 to 45 million. Now they're asking for crazy money. So let's see what will happen. But if they if they want a crazy money, let's go to another target because I don't want us to pay another crazy fee for a player. So let me read this comment. Say
Exactly, and just
100%, bro. Richmond Maker says we are pushing for left back. George can play that position. We think likes him, but Joe Shields one goodies according to my sources. Yeah, bro, goodies I think will elevate us. To be honest, but again, 80 million for him. That's a lot. Release clause is 80 million for him. So we better be careful unless West Ham United are willing to take players part of that deal. We offered, I think we offered Robert Sanchez and KDH last time. So let's see what will happen.
yeah, that's a good way of getting that deal done. We've got a lot of players they
Yeah.
want. Well, they can use. We got ends up there. You never getting 80 million. They're not
I don't know whether it's my network or yeah.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's yours or mine. I don't know.
Yeah,
Internet.
the
I'm not
battle
sure.
between KFC and McDonald's. Wow.
It's the fast food battle. Yeah.
Says good news. The AC Milan goalkeeper hasn't signed his new contract, and we might go back in July. Let's see what will happen. For me personally, I would say this right. We get Mike Menya or we don't get him. I'm happy about it. I don't want us to pay crazy money for a player, especially AC Milan. How many players did we give them for cheap prices? Giroud, Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, Timori. Now they want to smoke us. No, 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 no. Come on. So this player is interesting. Another attacker Chelsea have been showing interest in this summer is Xavi Simons of RB Leipzig and also have a 80 million release clause. Do you think we should go for him?
No, I don't think we should. He's predominantly plays as a 10 more, second striker. Took over that Nkunku role as well when Nkunku left. So they did sign him for a big money. They paid 50 million for him. So they won't want to lose him for anything less than probably 80 mil. So yeah, look, I think we're pretty good at that position, to be honest. I definitely prefer Kudus over him 100%. Kudus has done it in the Premier League. He's stronger. Javi Simmons is a good technical player, but he prefers that central role, second striker. Can play on the wings, but he's not very strong either. He's very small frame. He hasn't got that physicality, so he can get pushed off the ball pretty easily. So yeah, look, I don't mind him, but for how much they want, not much. And I would definitely choose Kudus over him, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. Rich Moneymakers says this: we are not selling Rich James and Minerals pushing it out. Nah, I don't care about that guy, man. That guy is a troller. Eh, only thing he cares about is Mason Mount, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of transfers, no more updates. But let's go to tomorrow's game because it won't be easy. Flamingo are playing very well. I've watched their first game. So let me
Yeah,
do
look,
this.
they're okay, but they haven't played at Chelsea yet. So yeah, it's not like they played a really, really strong team.
Yeah, let me do this. Let me go to that fixture.
I think we should be pretty comfortable against. I can see another probably 2-0 win again. We're only going to get better and better. That first game probably a little bit slow started, but we're only going to get better and better. So I don't see us losing in the group stages at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. So the game will be okay. Let me read this comment. Oh, I know who is this, right? It's
Rashi is back.
Rashi.
He keeps changing.
Matthias Cunha now.
He's got a new one. He's got a new. He's got Cunha now. Of course, he has to. He goes by the flavor of the month. That's him. That's Man United for you.
Oh, Rashi is back. Big up, Rashi, big up, bro. Rashi, I have a question for you. If Manchester United don't sack Ruben Amorim during the season, where do you think Manchester United will finish? And also Manchester United, you know the crazy thing about Manchester United, right? They're offering Mbemo
For once,
and
because all we know is the players.
say again.
I said he should tell us his real name as well, so we can, to getting other players. Tell us your real name, so your real name as well.
Yeah, Rashi, give us your real name. So you guys should keep Sancho. Chelsea fans are not doing it.
Yeah, look, Sancho, he didn't want to take a pay cut, so it is what it is. Simple.
Yeah, as simple as that. As much as we like the player, man, he should.
He's collecting a
have been
300K
clever.
check at Man United, no problem.
100%, 100%. He says, don't worry about my attack. Kuna Mbemo Gogoret is better than Dilep and Madueke Neto.
You haven't signed those guys yet.
Rashi.
You
Rashi, give us your real name.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like you said, Dante should give us his real name.
Yeah, because I'm sick of calling him Cunha, Rashi. What else did he have? He had all the Manchester United, Fernandez, Bruno. He has always. I forgot his first name. I can't remember that far back.
Yeah, he should give us his real name. So let me do this. This is the game against Flamingo, right? Who's this? Oh, this is their player. His name is what? Nicolo de la Cruz is out for a few days. And already Omar Kellerman, we know about his situation, and Wesley Fofana. In terms of form, wow, they've been doing very well. Beside the game they won against Esperance in the Club World Cup, They actually won their 4 previous games: 5-0, 1-0, 2-0, 4-2. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, look, they're the better team in Brazil. They even beat Palmeiras, as you can see there, where Esteval plays. So they're the better team in Brazil. But yeah, like I said, they haven't played anyone as tough as us yet. They like having possession. Well, they're not going to have possession against us. They're going to have to play very differently. So I think I think we'll be fine. Plus, they have a lot of old players as well. They have a lot of mature players. They play slower, foot-paced football. They like to play slow. So yeah, I think that'll play into our hands. I think yeah, it might be okay the first half, but the second half, very much like Betis, that second half, I think we'll run over them in the second half.
And also they've signed Jorginho. You saw that?
Yeah, they got Jorginho as well. Yeah, that's what I said. They got a lot of most of their squad. They're all like 34, 36. They got a lot of 30, like 38-year-olds. They got a lot of old players. Couple of youngsters, but mostly all of them are very mature players. So they like to play a slow pace, pass it around, keep possession. That's not going to happen against Chelsea. They have to change their game up completely. So we'll see what happens. But I think, yeah, I think we should be pretty comfortable in that game, to be honest, especially the second half.
100%, 100%, bro, 100%. So this okay. The ahead of us because of the February. Actually, we got I think 3 yellow cards, and already they have 1 yellow card. So I don't care about that. Tomorrow will be on top of the table. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Surprised they don't have more yellow cards. Usually they get a lot of yellow cards. I think the Chelsea game, you're going to see a lot of
You
yellow
saw about
cards.
the river.
Maybe even a red, yeah. Don't be surprised because they'll be fired up and yeah, they get emotional. So I think, yeah, don't be surprised they're going to foul a lot.
You saw the stats about it,
They're going to want to slow the game down, so they're going to foul a lot.
Dante. Did you see the ref that was going
Yes.
to officiate for our game tomorrow? Actually, that guy gives away a lot of yellow cards and red cards. Oh my gosh!
Wow. Okay. So yeah, there'll definitely be a lot of yellow cards tomorrow. It'll be part of their tactic as well to slow the game down. But yeah, don't be surprised. There's a couple of reds as well.
Okay, Richmond says we are keeping Tosin. Are you happy with that? Over to you, Dante. I'm happy with that. Dante, this to you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm sure Tobago's happy with that. He's a solid squad player. When you need him against certain opposition, against certain like Nottingham Forest, to mark Wood out of the game, well, he did brilliantly. Yeah, Wood had a chance, really good chance to score, and I think another chance, but that's all he had all game. That's nothing. If you can keep the opposition player who's physical, strong, tall, who scores with his head 90% of his goals, well, you've done an amazing job. So he's done that. He's come in, and that's how Maresca uses him. He uses him against certain opposition, against certain strikers that are tall, physical, or teams that are good in the air that put a lot of crosses in, and that's he's used him perfectly. So could he have used him a little bit more early in the season? I think so, but probably didn't quite trust him early on in the season. But the second half of the season, he used him really well, and he became a very important player.
Yeah, I agree with you. I trust him too. He's so good on the ball, man. And then like you said, the time.
In the air, yeah. Any cross you put in, he'll intercept all the crosses in the air.
Yeah, but you know what we need right now at the moment that we're not doing every time when he's on the pitch, right? In terms of set pieces, we need to do much better. We need to create more chances. We need to take advantage
Yeah,
of his height.
they should be running set plays for him. Yeah, they should. Um, I've seen some set plays. I've seen them trying to block other players to let him
Yeah,
free, but it just hasn't come off. The cross was not good enough, or one of the players didn't block properly, or the other player from the other team got
yeah.
away. I've seen it a couple of times, but I don't think they're executing it as well, to be
Yeah,
honest.
100%. And yesterday, I think we saw saying Chelsea might change their lineup tomorrow. So, do you think that is the case against Flamingo?
It will be some changes. It's not that quick. It's how many days? 3 days,
3 days.
4 days, 3 days. It's a pretty quick turnaround, especially traveling and the heat. Don't forget, it's very hot there. It's middle of summer there. It's very hot, very humid as well in those areas, especially when Atlanta was humid. So that'll definitely change. I think it was a contractual thing. The Club World Cup made it sure that they needed to play the strong team in the opening. Every team needed to play their top 11 in the opening games of the cup. So that was a Club World Cup initiative. They made sure all the teams, because I was wondering why the hell are Bayern Munich are playing against Auckland, the starting 11 strongest team. They're going to absolutely smash them because Auckland is not really even a proper professional team. Uh, so yeah, it was quite interesting to see. They smashed them 10-0, of course, but probably could have been more. But yeah, that's why they started such a strong team.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. Says Levi will have 3 years experience in the Premier League, and they are happy with. Yeah, I think Levi is improving, but again, he needs to do something better. Like we always say here on the channel, he should stop giving away silly free kicks and he moans about it. All he give free kick, then he stop, doesn't mark his man, and we end up conceding a goal. So I think if we do that better, I think you will learn from there.
Yeah, I think he did that very well to close out the season. The last
Yeah.
five games, I think he did that very well. Before that, I haven't been the biggest of supporters or fans of the way he's playing. Like you said, those mistakes plus not really positional wise, IQ wise, just not being in the right place at the right time. He's always out of position. When he steps out to try to challenge someone, they usually hold the ball up against him and get around him or pass it off. So he's just a lot of things he wasn't doing very well. But look, he's improved. He's a young player. Hopefully, those last 7, 8 games that were all under a lot of pressure for us to qualify, he did very well. So hopefully, that's the next step he needed for his development. We'll wait and see for next season if that is the case. But yeah, he's definitely improved. And yeah, I was worried about him, to be honest. But seeing those last sort of 10 games that he improved a lot, yeah, that's a good sign. That's in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, bro. Sorry about it. In terms of the lineup, what kind of changes would you like to make?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't play Madueke at all. That's
Who
for
will play
sure.
for you?
Not after the last performance. I would actually give it to George, to be honest. I would give George the start and put him on the bench, and I would start Tariq George.
And the striker will play Delep, right? Or Jackson?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's the one that I'm not quite sure. Like I said, Palmeiras like to play a possession game, pass it around, slow build up. I and they're not really that low block. They like to have the possession. Now, how are they going to play against us? They can't play like that against us. They're going to get open, ripped apart if they play like that against us. Are they going to go really defensive? I think so. I think they'll probably end up going a lot more defensive. Uh, if that is the case, I would definitely start the lap because Jackson will be useless in that against the low block. So I would start the lap. If Flamengo decide not to do that, well then I would start Jackson because Jackson, yeah, he's really good in open spaces, link up the play. He knows the players better, link up. Um, Especially if George comes in and a couple of players, I think I'll still stick to Jackson then if it's more of an open game. But if it's a low block, well, I think I will go with the lap from the start, 100%.
Yeah, personally, I would prefer Liam Delep start, but let's see what will happen. And in terms of midfielder, we have Dario Sego, we have Andre Santos, we have Moses Caicedo. Personally, I would rest Moses Caicedo because he played a lot of games, man. and I think he played 90 minutes. Not 90,
And he got a bit of a knock in
yes.
that game too. He got a bit of a knock. I saw his leg was a bit sore, so I would play Isugo instead of Caicedo for that reason. I would definitely give him a rest for that reason, just in case his leg is a bit bruised, just so he can recover properly. I would definitely rest him. And you saw when Isugo came on, he basically did everything Caicedo did. He can do that role very effectively. That's his game. He loves that type of stuff. So he did it very well when he came on. So I'm hopefully we'll see him just because of that reason, just in case he's got a bit of a bruised leg, Caicedo. So just to rest him for the next game.
And would you start with James or play Malo Gusto?
No, I wouldn't start Rich James again. There's no way. I don't think he's starting Rich James 3 days after a game. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, let me do this. Malo,
It's too much of a risk.
Malo Gusto. I forgot his t-shirt. Oh, what is t-shirt? 28, right? Yeah, 27, yeah. Yeah, 27.
No, he's not quite Aspilicueta yet.
Yeah, not yet. And in
That's
terms
my
of
number.
Enzo,
28's my number as well.
interesting one. Enzo, we have Enzo here, and also a lot of fans are complaining that Andre Santos didn't start or play against what is that team he played against? Oh, LAFC. What
Galaxy.
I thought,
Oh, LAFC. Sorry, not Galaxy.
yes, LAFC.
Um, I don't think he was ready. It's a different role that he plays. Esugo was ready to come on because all he has to do is defensive job. So it was easy to put Esugo in. But Santos, you got to know your teammates very well, the way he plays, like passing around the ball, spreading the ball, control tempo, control the ball. So I didn't think he was going to play that first game. It was too early for him to play that first game. Will he play this second game? Look, it is against South American opposition, so I think that will help. That will
Yeah.
suit him because they play slow as well. So I think that will help him. But I still think Enzo will start this game, to be honest. And I think then maybe Santos will come on. I can't see him resting. I can't see him playing Enzo and Caicedo. He's got to play one of them. You need a bit of
Yeah, I
balance in that
agree with
midfield.
you.
Yeah. So that's why I think Sugo will probably get the start and Enzo next to him.
Yeah, let me read the Rich Money Maker's comments before we continue. He says, Petro Neto is safe. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, like I said, I'm expecting a big season from him next season.
Like you said, at a Chelsea perspective, I think Petro Neto this season will get more assists because if Nicholas Jackson, my issue with him is always running away in the penalty area, but Liam Delap is so good aerially, and then he can bully the defenders. So
Exactly.
hopefully Chelsea will prepare sort of a special training for him, heading training for him because, bro, Cole Palmer can score for you, Enzo Fernandez can score for you, Petro Neto, even Noni sometimes can do that for you. So we need our striker to be prepared to challenge or bully the centre back. So hopefully Lem Delep will be that player for us because I saw his highlights. He has scored a lot of goals using his head. So hopefully this season he can polish that, be a threat for a lot of teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's not scared. He puts his head, his feet, whatever, his body on the line. If there's a ball coming in, he'll fight for it. Jackson doesn't really do that. So Neto will be a very important next season. Very important. He's going to get a lot of assists. I think he's going to be. I see him being as one of our better players next season, to be honest. I think he started a bit slow, and I expected him to start a bit slow because he came from Wolves. Wolves, the way they played, he never really played against low blocks. So he was always, in transition or counter attack. He didn't get that much at Chelsea, so it took him a while to get used to the system, what to do with the ball, and yeah, now I'm more confident next season. He's going to be a very important player next season, I think.
Yeah, one thing I'm happy about Pedro Neto is that actually he didn't get an injury at Chelsea. Remember, we were concerned about his injury issue.
Yes,
And at Chelsea, didn't even get one, at Chelsea, even one injury. Man, I was so happy about it.
because we Maresca, they rotated him very well. He didn't play every game, so he had a plenty of rest in between, and they're probably keeping an eye on his stats during games, how many kilometers he's running, how many sprints he's doing, and when he hits his level, they take him off. So sports science is huge these days. They pay attention to those things.
Yeah, and it seems like we're helping Rich James as well because he even said it after the game that after 3 seasons, you've been playing a lot of games until this season, which is helping. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans criticize Enzo Maresca the way he uses Rich James, but it's benefiting the player. So I don't know why Chelsea fans are always complaining about big small things, but for me,
Yeah.
personally, I'm glad he's managing his James very well. And if we keep Fafana, hopefully can manage him. But my only issue with Fafana, I remember Enzo Maresca made it clear that he's not ready, but he pushed to be ready soon, and he got another injury. So he should learn from that. Don't ever push to come back if you're not 100% fit.
Yeah, look, Maresca told us that he went against it, and look, he still would have had to be cleared by the medical staff. But players do lie, and they do lie a lot. I used to lie. Every player wants to play. If you want to play, you lie. It doesn't matter. They all play with something. When you play that many games, you always have something: a bruise, a little bit of a muscle in your back, a little bit. There's always something when you play a lot of games in a row. It just happens. The best players, the good ones, play through that. So some unfortunately are not built to play through it. Even their mentality says that, but their body is not built that way. So that's Fafana. His KK leg. That's what happens with his KK legs. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
That's his body.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Um, okay, in terms of the center backs pairing, before we go to another comment from Rich Moneymakers, do you think we are going to play Sa or Chalaba? Who is playing this game?
Yeah, look, I think one of them is definitely getting rotated. Which one? I'm not sure. I think maybe Levi stays,
Yeah,
and I think a bit more speed, and probably Tosin probably sits for this one. I think, yeah, Shalaba should come in for this one. Yeah.
yeah. I have a feeling that we might do this here in terms of here. You correct me. I think this guy will be rested. He's play a lot of games, man. But oh man. But let me say this because I forget. I'm just forgetting his surname. I think we might do this.
Very sure.
Uh, and we have
And Shalaba is the right centre
yes.
back.
Uh, no. What I'm doing. Chalaba 23. Uh, or even Sa my start. I'm not sure, man. But I don't want us to change a lot. We might say something like this.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Sa will start this game. No, no. Maybe next game, because basically we win this game, we're pretty much qualified.
Yeah, exactly. So you might see something like this. I'm not sure, but I want us to start Mike Pendes. What are your thoughts about it? I want us to change Mike Pendes.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say with that, yeah, I think Gusto is more suited for that left back to replace Cucurella.
Okay, and then
I would probably play Gusto as that guy to replace Cucurella. And Reece James, I think you can bring Achapong in for this game, maybe to do that. He's got the athleticism, the speed, the strength, the height. Yeah, I could see that more than he won't go for free. He's too slow, Benoit. That's an area on that side where Flamengo have a bit of speed on that side only. So I think Benoit Badiashile a bit too slow to mark that guy on the right hand side. That's why I see Gusto coming in for that role over there. I think Gusto is going to be very much the Cucurella replacement.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, it, it gives to this side, right?
Yes, like this.
And
Yes, and then Gusto inverts.
something like this. And we have
Yeah, the back three when Gusto inverts from the
yeah.
left. So Gusto will play the Cucurella role.
Okay, now I understand now what you're saying. So let me read Rich Moneymaker's comments before he beat us. Says big meeting about Nicholas Jackson, but they are not selling him. I'm happy with that. No, I don't think we should sell Nicholas Jackson without his replacement. And then Chelsea should learn that. We can't sell our players without replacing them. Or, for example, even like, let me do example for Cole Palmer. There's no way you're going to sell Cole Palmer without getting his replacement first. So we need to get the player that we want, then sell the players that other clubs are wanting. So let's see what will happen.
Yeah, I agree.
They
100%.
are
Yeah.
concerned about Malo Gusto in inventing position, but hoping that he get it. What are you? What are your thoughts about it? To be honest, I'm not concerned.
Not against Flamengo. uh, in the Premier League, a little bit more, but not against Flamengo. Like I said, they like to play slow. Gusto will be fine in this game. That's why I think he'll be the one replacing Cucurella if Cucurella gets rested. You might see Cucurella playing even this game and maybe gets rested for the next game, which will be we're pretty much qualified and it'll be against Esperance, which are they're not very strong, that team at all. So that's probably the weakest team out of the group. So um yeah, don't be surprised if Cucurella still plays this game. But if not, I think it will be Gusto coming in for him. I think we've seen that throughout the season. It's been Gusto that's been taking that role more for Cucurella than actually someone else. Reece James did it once or twice, but the most was Gusto replaced him on the left when he didn't play. So he suits that role pretty good defensive wise, not offensively. He can't do what Cucurella does offensively. But he can do the defensive job pretty well. Like I said, Flamengo is it's pretty much more of a slow team build up. So Gusto will be very good defensively there to cover that. Only on that right side, if I remember right, they have a bit of speed, one of their guys, but the rest are all more slow pace guys. So yeah, I see Gusto playing 100% over Cucurella if Cucurella gets rested.
Yeah, man, Kokra really needs a rest, bro, because they play a lot of games. But goalkeeper,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I talked with Koi about this earlier when you were off. Cucurella is one of those type of players that he actually doesn't probably like rest. He probably likes to play all the games, and his body responds better to that than actually resting. He's got that build, that mentality as well. The way his body's built as well. Some players like that, if you rest them, and they're not as good as before because they like to play, and their body's used to doing it like that. So some players you can get away with that, and I think Cucurella is one of those guys. He doesn't get injured often. He's strong mentally, and the way he plays, the way his body is, he's very lightweight. He's not heavy. He can run all day. He's one of those that doesn't really get injured, and I think he prefers to play game after game after game. There is players like that that play like that. If you rest them, they're not as good anymore. After it takes them a while to get back into it because they're rested. So some players don't want to be rested, and their body can take it. And I think Cucurella is one of those guys that can do that. He's got that body for it, and the mentality as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. In terms of goalkeepers, I know I've put Pendes there, but I think Petrovic might start, and then if we win, this game. Pandas might start.
Who? Petrovic. Petrovic is not playing,
Petrovic,
man.
man.
No chance.
Jurgen,
You said Petrovic. I'm like, what?
I see this happening, right? This player plays, then Pandas start the last game. I don't know about you. But
Mm, I think Sanchez stays this game. I think Jorgensen plays next game, but that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think he'll want us keep it as normal as possible. He wants to win this game because we win this game, we're basically qualified.
oh, oh, okay,
So
I agree with you. Maybe, for example, put Mike Pandas on the bench. Then, when we are winning, he can play Pandas.
yeah, I think Sanchez stays with this game. He plays. I don't think Penders will play, to be honest. He's not. I don't think the only chance Penders has to play is maybe in the preseason, not in this tournament. I don't see him playing in this tournament, to be honest. If there is one game he might play, it's the next game, not this game,
Yeah, I agree.
because that'll probably be the easiest game out of all of
Yeah,
them.
experience. I know them. They are African team. They are good in terms of African continent, but I don't trust them. Richmond Miguel says,
They're not hard.
yeah, they're not hard.
Yeah.
They are happy with Enzo, and Real Madrid would after to pay over 150 million to get Enzo, but I have been told he ain't going nowhere. Very safe players, Colpama, Pedro Neto, Moses Caicedo, Cocorella, Enzo, Rhys James, Pedro Neto. No, I don't think Chelsea will sell their key players, especially their main one. I don't think so. And also we have,
And there's no way Madrid can pay that much.
yeah. They're being smart right now.
Well, they signed the young kid
Weston,
that pretty much plays like Enzo.
oh, uh, yeah, yeah, something like that. I remember the kid plays for River Plate, right?
Yeah, he's very good. I would have wanted him at Chelsea, but unfortunately, yeah, he's gone to Real Madrid. So I think that's the Enzo signing.
Yeah. Says Justin Joshua want to replace Jadon Sancho, replace Mudrik, another taker, because they don't think the 18-year-old is ready. So more signings. Ben Roberts one AC Milan goalkeeper. Man, personally, as much as I want us to sign two left wingers, we still have Quendes coming next season. We still have Kendrick Byers. What if Kendrick Byers goes to Strasbourg and have a wonderful season? What will happen? So we should be careful.
Yeah, but he can't play left winger. He's not a left winger. He won't play there.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. So do you think we should sign two? I think Chelsea will sign another versatile striker like Hugo Ketike
exactly,
and a winger, personally.
Someone who can play that position as well, not a pure left winger like Giddens. Giddens is a pure winger. If it's Kudus, perfect. Yeah. Kudus can play left winger, no problem.
100%.
As well when needed. But he can play right winger. He can play 10 for Parma if Parma gets injured or something. He can play even a false 9 as a striker, no problem.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Kudus would be the one to get. Yes, he would be the one that would make perfect sense for everything we need.
100%, bro. So anyway, anything you like to add before we wrap it up? Tomorrow I'll be doing a watch along. Hopefully, KFC Wi-Fi won't give me any problem.
Yeah, my McDonald's Wi-Fi, I don't think you can take it, do a watch along and be on live at the same time. Not this week anyway. I'll see. I don't know what time the game is. What time is the game for you in
South Africa will be 8 o'clock.
In the morning or
night?
At night. All right. Okay. So for me, it's it's 4 a.m. the worst time,
Yeah,
4
4
a.m.
a.m. is the worst time. So
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll even watch that. Maybe I'll see how I feel. I don't know if I'll watch that
yeah,
game. I'll maybe just watch it when I wake up after. So yeah, I'll see if I'm there. I'm there. If not, yeah, I won't be able to make it.
yeah, okay, no problem, bro. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, also thanks to Koi. He was here, Rich Money Makers. We had our troller, Marcus Kuna, Matthias Kuna. We had Chelsea, IB. We had Moss. I appreciate you guys. Up the Chelsea. See you tomorrow. Peace.
Okay, guys.